A reading from the Gospel of Mark. On that day, as evening drew on, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us cross to the other side." Leaving the crowd, they took Jesus with them in the boat just as he was, and other boats were with him. A violent squall came up and waves were breaking over the boat, so that it was already filling up. Jesus was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. They woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" He woke up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Quiet, be still." The wind ceased and there was great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you terrified? Do you not yet have faith?" They were filled with great awe and said to one another, "Who then is this whom even wind and sea obey?" Today's gospel passage is very clearly not about whether Jesus really calmed a storm after falling asleep in a boat with his disciples. Today's gospel is about faith. The power of the story, as my religion professor, Dr. Glenna Jackson, likes to say, is about how we weather the storms of life with Jesus at the center, or how we weather the storms when we are simply being self-centered. The disciples are a metaphor in today's gospel for being self-centered because they have yet to develop this faith despite being with perhaps the greatest human being to have ever walked the face of the earth. Imagine what that would be like, being around someone who made you feel infinitely better just by being around him, i.e., Jesus. They had this ultimate privilege, yet they took for granted who was right in front of them. They didn't have faith yet. So when a storm hit while they were in a boat, their lack of faith caused them to sink. But when Jesus intervenes, they are saved and are kept afloat. That's what today's gospel is about. Not about whether Jesus actually calmed a storm or not, but rather about the importance of directing our lives by Christ's example. We can't do it alone. We need guidance. So for me, when I hear today's gospel, I hear the importance of needing a spiritual director. Although we all have heard about the value of seeing a counselor or a therapist, there seems to be a definite need for more spiritual direction. These spiritual directors have spent their lives putting their faith in Jesus, and they can help be great mediators for us towards the greatest spiritual director of all, Jesus Christ. Even Buddhists, who are most well known for the principle of self-reliance, stress the importance of a spiritual director. They would say that you really can't be self-reliant without guidance along the way. Just kind of like Christians would say that you can't love someone else unless you first have self-love. But for us Christians, in order to be better disciples each day, we still need to have guides along the way. And as I said before, for Christians, the ultimate spiritual director is Jesus. Using him as our guide, while still using mediators like spiritual directors along the way, will help keep us afloat in the storms of life, rather than drowning from a lack of faith.